Dear brothers and sisters, praise be to Jesus Christ. Today, March 16th, 2025, the Church celebrates the second Sunday of Lent, year C. Precisely from the text presented to us, a central message emerges for our life of faith. In the first reading, Abraham, after his victory over the kings of the valley of Siddim, and the offering of the tithe of the war proceeds to the priest Melchizedek, receives rewards from God. The promises of numerous descendants and a land. To mark the irrevocability of these oaths and to guarantee their fulfillment, God makes a covenant with his servant Abraham, as if to say that he will necessarily keep his word. These promises will find their fulfillment periodically throughout history in Isaac, Jacob, and the people of Israel, and ultimately these promises will be fulfilled and perfected in the person of Christ, the firstborn of a multitude of brothers who become children of Abraham through faith in Jesus. This truth is revealed to us in today's Gospel through the episode of the Transfiguration. 8 days after Peter's profession of faith, recognizing Jesus as the Christ, the anointed one of God, and Jesus' first announcement of his passion, Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him and went up onto a mountain with them to pray. Before them, he was transfigured, radiating a brilliant light. The apostles saw Moses and Elijah conversing with him, and the voice of the Father confirmed Jesus as his beloved Son, recommending the disciples to listen to him. This scene is rich in symbolism. The mountain represents the place of encounter with God. Let us remember Moses at Sinai and Elijah at Mount Horeb. The transfiguration of Jesus actually manifests his divine nature and prefigures the victory of the resurrection. According to the tradition, Moses represents the law and Elijah the prophet. Thus, their presence at Jesus' side explicitly shows that Jesus is their fulfillment par excellence, as if to say that he is the one announced by the Jewish law and all the prophets, the one in whom all the promises of the Old Testament find their true fulfillment. But why did Jesus want witnesses to witness this reality? The Transfiguration takes on a crucial meaning in the pedagogy of Jesus and even in the life of faith of the apostles. Before facing the test of the cross that he had just announced them, Jesus, as a good teacher, takes care to reassure and strengthen the faith of his apostles in his victory over death. At heart, it is a strong message of assurance, a touch of intrepid hope given by Jesus to strengthen the faith of his apostles and by extension ours in the midst of trials, however painful that they may be. How often we struggle for our own social and spiritual fulfillment. How often we struggle unsuccessfully for the triumph of truth and justice around us because of the wickedness of man. How many times we have given the best of ourselves, if only to enjoy a minimum of happiness, but without succeeding. How many times we have tried everything here and there, but always failed, as if we had been condemned to unhappiness, to failure, to misery, and to tears. But in the heart of these sufferings, of these discouragements, of these often repeated failures which afflict us, Jesus reaches out to us and seems to say to each one in a low voice, "Courage, my friend, get up, it is almost the end." And precisely after having benefited from this divine assistance, we are in return invited to bring it to the world, to be following Jesus, signs and bearers of this hope, alongside those who are beaten down and mutilated by the difficulties of life. Clearly, we too are invited to reach out and lift up the weak, to reassure those who doubt, to speak a comforting word to the discouraged, to offer a smile to those who have lost it, to give hope to those who no longer believe in the future, to welcome and help these many displaced by war, even if it is only with a glass of water, to visit our sick brothers and sisters, to support as much as we can these uneducated children, to pray for the whole world, and so on. This is how we will be living witnesses of hope in the heart of this world. So, brothers and sisters, during this period of Lent, let us remain steadfast in our struggles and constantly implore God's assistance and grace. With our eyes fixed on Jesus Christ, let us enter resolutely into God's struggle. Happy Sunday to you all.